Hi guys and gals, this is Laurel. I'm back for another video. I'm going to be making a pie, an apple pie. The crust is going to be gluten-free and it's also going to be dairy-free and it's vegan-free. So let's get started. This is the flour I'm using. This is actually really good flour. Expensive, but it's good flour. Okay, I added 3 cups of flour in this bowl because I'm going to make the pie crust first. I'm using some Crisco oil. Crisco, pure Crisco. This is like the hard Crisco that you get in a can. You can also get that too. It's probably cheaper than buying it like this, but we don't need a lot of Crisco, so I just get this for pie crust. So I'm going to use a half a stick of Crisco. And I'm going to combine it to the bowl. But before I do that, I should add my spices first, because I'm going to put some spices in my crust. So I'm going to add some cinnamon, ground cinnamon, to the bowl. I would say a half a teaspoon. Adding some cardamom spice, a half a teaspoon, to the bowl. I'm going to add some regular salt to the bowl. About 1/3 of a teaspoon. Adding some baking powder to the bowl. I'm adding a teaspoon. I'm going to do a quick mix. You just want to make sure you get the spices and all the flour, so you get an evenly taste when you take a bite of the crust. You'll have a little bit of spices and it won't be overwhelming for tasting. I'm going to use this Crisco in another recipe. I'll make some wheat crust. So we'll see how that goes. Let me grab a bowl. I found this at a secondhand store, so I grabbed it. I think we paid a couple dollars for it. I was like, that's awesome. So I'm going to try that. I'm going to try to cut it into the... I don't know if I like this.
Shortening tool.
I might be using my hands. I just like to get my stuff done quickly because I have so much to do every day. I have chores, I have gardening, I do quilting. The quilting, I usually do baby shower gifts, homemade. People cry. I'm like, I didn't mean to make them cry. Alright, you guys, I'm using my hands and be quicker. Quicker at making my pie crust. You guys, I've never made gluten-free pie crust, so this is all new to me. So we'll see how it turns out. Hopefully the pie crust is really good. I just like spices and everything. So if you start eating spices in your food, you're going to be picky when you go out to a restaurant. You're like, oh man, they need to add some spices. Alright, this is what you guys want. You want it to be crumbly. So in the bowl, it has to look a little crumbly. That's what the flour should look like. Alright, I gotta do a quick wash.
With my hands.
Alright, you guys, hold on just a second. I gotta grab some ice out of the freezer. Alright, you guys, it's about a half a cup of water. I'm going to add my water to my mixing bowl. Add a little more water. See, I want it to combine together like this. That's what I'm looking for when it's I feel like I'm playing with Play-Doh. That's much better. I'm gonna be able to roll it out. Roll out the dough. Alright, that feels a little bit better. The dough does feel better. I got small hands, so I'm gonna cut this in half and see if I can roll it out. Alright guys and gals, I came back, I cleaned up a little bit. I spread out one pie crust and I used my rolling pin. I like this, it's marble. This rolling pin's really nice. My husband got it for me for Valentine's Day. He's so sweet. I'm gonna put the roll. I need some flour. So I'm using some of this flour. It's King Arthur gluten-free flour. I'm gonna put it on my rolling pin. So just, I'd say maybe a third of a teaspoon of flour on the rolling pin. And I'm gonna scoop it up like this. Hopefully you can see me. I'm gonna roll out that one for the top, so I'll show you that one as well. The pie crust. Come on. I noticed this dough's a little weaker than wheat crust, so be gentle. It's like picking up a baby for the first time. And if you break a piece off, just take it and put it right on the back of it and just pinch it a little bit. The pie crust. Okay. And since I don't like to waste food, I might just keep all this on my pie crust and just pinch it together. That's what it looks like so far. Doesn't have to look great. My stuff's rustic looking. So all my pies and cakes, they look rustic. Alright, next we're gonna roll out the top pie crust, and I'm gonna put it on the plate because I gotta make the filling. And when I use cornstarch, every time I cook in the oven, it seems to turn out different. Like it shouldn't look like that. So what I'm gonna do is cook it in a sauce. Cook the filling in a saucepan, and then I'm gonna put the apple filling in the pie crust. And then I'll add the top pie crust. And then I'll bake the pie. I got the oven preheating at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Alright, we're gonna roll out this crust, the pie crust. I actually like this rolling pin. I didn't think I'd like marble. Because I was like, man, this is probably expensive. Rolling pin. Alright, you guys see that crack? I'm just going to move the pie crust over. Push down a little bit on the pie crust. And as you see, there's no cracks, just on the outside of the dough. Okay, on my little plate, I'm going to put my pie crust on the plate until I'm done with my filling. Okay, I'm going to scoop up some crust and push it on the rolling pin. That's cool. You can see the spices in the crust. That looks awesome. I'm taking a plate and moving it towards me, and I'm putting it right underneath the crust so I can pick it up and just let it roll on the plate. There you go. That's what it looks like. See, when you have that little breakage, you just pinch it a little bit and it goes back together. I put 3 cups of flour because I want to try the crust myself just to see what it tastes like. Because it's gluten-free. I had to be on a gluten-free diet for a little bit, and I was like, man, I want spices. So I'm trying to make it taste good for people. So that's why I'm trying to help everybody. In cooking and baking. So if we get stuck at home again, because we had COVID, I was disappointed. In my country, we're supposed to be free. They're supposed to figure it out right away. So I hope next time they figure out stuff sooner so we can get back to work. Because, you know, we all have bills. Alright, you guys, this is my little taste testing for the crust. I'm using one of my old cans. It looks horrible, but hey, I use it. I don't want to throw stuff away if it still works. That's just me, though. Alright, guys and gals, I gotta clean up, so I will be back shortly. Gotta wash my hands first. Alright, see you in a few minutes. Hi guys and gals, I came back. I peeled some apples. These are Granny Smith apples. If you want to use a different apple, by all means go for it. You'll just have to add more sugar if you use Granny Smith apples because they're a little tart. So I'm going to do a quick peel with this apple. You could also use a knife, but this is why I use a carrot peeler, because this is how much apple you waste, hardly anything. But that's up to you. I like to save money. Okay, I'm going to cut the apple in half with a knife. Cut in half again. So you have 4 pieces of apple. So if you don't have an apple core, you can core the apple like this. I go half. Slice this piece off, and I try to go as small as I can because I want to save as much apple as I can. And then half, and that comes off. So there's the apple core. So go half the apple, sliced, the other half, sliced, half the apple sliced, half the other apple sliced. So you're just making like a little triangle. So I cut this part off. So I'm cutting a peel off there, and then you go slice down, pull out the knife, slice off the peeling, and slice off the core. I do that for safety. I mean, if you don't want to do it that way, that's fine. I'm cutting an apple, but that's how I usually do it. I don't like stitches. I'm giving the apple a quick rinse. So that's what it looks like right now, the apple. I'm going to put the apple in the food processor and slice my apples. Alright, this is the size of pie pan I'm using. So I'd say it's 8 by 8 pie pan, I think. Or 8 inches. Alright, to make sure I get the right amount of apples. This is what I do. I mean, if you want to measure them out, that's fine. So I sliced 5 large Granny Smith apples and peeled the apples as well. So that's what I do to make it look good in the pie pan with the apples. I just do that. Then I know I have enough apples. I'm putting the apples in a bowl. I'm gonna make this sugar free. The leftover apples for me. Okay, that's gonna be mine. Alright, you guys, I gotta wash up my counter real quick. I need this dry. I need this measuring cup dry. Be adding regular sugar, granulated sugar. Because I know everybody doesn't like sugar-free. I just don't like dental work. I'm a baby. I can't handle that much pain. Alright, I got my sugar. That'll do later. I'm going to add some lemon to the apples so they don't turn completely brown. See, they're starting to turn brown. If I see the seeds, I usually take them out of the lemon and I just squeeze. Thought I seen another seed. I did see another seed. I was like, I know what, there's another one in there. So I'd say a half a large lemon. Squeeze the juice and put it on the apples. And just mix up the apples. I'm going to combine lemon to mine apples. If you do gardening, you can grow a lemon tree. Where I live, it's too cold to grow a lemon tree. I mean, we'll reach 90 degrees once in a while, but not very often. For temperature. Alright, you guys, ready for the next step. I'm going to add some cardamom spice to the apples. About a half a teaspoon. Allspice. I'm going to combine a fourth of a teaspoon to the bowl. I'm adding ground cinnamon to the bowl. Two tablespoons of ground cinnamon. I gotta do a quick mix. You guys, I'm gonna add gluten-free flour instead of cornstarch to this pot. I wanna see how it turns out. That's what it looks like so far. I'm going to add my sugar to the bowl. I'm going to do a cup and a half of granulated sugar. And this is the kind I'm using. And if you're not sure if that's enough sugar in the bowl right now, what I do is grab a piece of apple and taste it. The apples, to me, I think that's enough sugar. I don't want to make it too sweet, because if you add so much sugar, that's all you're going to taste is the sugar. I like to add a little bit of spices and sugar together to make it taste good. Hopefully that makes sense. Alright, this is what it looks like so far. Trying to get the light and the apple mixture. And you'll see the sugar. It'll melt while it's in the oven. And it'll be sweet, savory, and a little spicy. But not like hot spicy. It's like mild. It's tasty. Tasty. I'm going to add some gluten-free King Arthur flour to my mixture. I guess I won't be using that measuring cup. I'm going to use a fourth of a cup. Of gluten-free flour into the mixing bowl. I'm going to mix well. And you want to make sure you get the flour incorporated into the mixture because you don't want it lumpy. That's what it should look like right there. Alright, I got my pie crust and my pie pan. I'm going to combine the mixture into the pan. This looks like a lot of sugar to me, man. I'm like, alright, that looks pretty good. So far, the pie looks great. I had to wash my hands real quick. Alright, you guys, I'm ready for my pie crust to go on top of the pie. I might not use all this pie crust. It looks a lot of pie crust there. That looks better. Alright guys, this is what it looks like so far. I'm going to poke some holes in the center, like that, and like that. Poke a hole there. When you do that to a pie, it helps the pie breathe inside, so the crust won't poof up so high. It might explode in the oven. You don't want that. It's messy and you could get burnt. So this is why I do that to the pie crust. Alright guys, I'm going to put this pie in the oven for 45 minutes on 350 degrees. But I have to grab something real quick. This is called a pie shield, and I wrap it around the pie crust. What the shield does is keep the pie from burning on the outside edges, so that's a good idea. If you don't have a pie shield, you can use tin foil and just cut the tin foil in pieces and wrap it around the pie crust edges, and that works as well too. Alright, my oven's preheated to 350 degrees, so I'm going to combine my pie to my oven. Okay, my timer's set, so I'll see you in a few minutes, because I'm going to cook my pie crust, and then I'm going to make mine sugar-free, and we'll see how it tastes. Alright guys and gals, our apple pie is done, so I'm going to take it out of the oven. I cooked it for 50 minutes on a 350 degree oven. I always put a pan in the oven just in case this happens and you don't have it all over your oven. So this is the drippings from the apple pie. Alright, I gotta let this pie cool off for a while. So I'm letting the pie cool off for a while. This is my gluten-free crust that I cooked on that pan. I needed the pan because I made another pie. I cut it in pieces, the crust. I have sugar-free apples that I cooked in a pot. I'm going to try a little piece of gluten-free pie crust with my apples. This one's sugar-free. That one's regular sugar. So this is regular granulated sugar. This pie is sugar-free, gluten-free, dairy-free, and vegan-free. Oh man, that pie crust, that's really good. That's amazing. Wow, that turned out awesome. You guys got to try this recipe even if you're not gluten-free. I might make it for me. Alright, you guys. I'm going to break up some pieces of crust and put it in my little bowl with my apples. So if you don't want to just eat your pie like with just the pie itself, you could add some ice cream, like some vanilla ice cream. That would be really good. Or some whipped cream. That's really good too. Alright, you guys and gals, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Keep cooking.